Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Madison. I make healthy living and lifestyle videos, and today I'm taking you through a monthly reset healthy living edition. So I love resetting for a new month, and I want to do a lot of things just to make sure that I am set up to have my healthiest month, stick with my healthy habits, make sure I'm very clear on what needs to be done, having my workouts laid out, my meals prepped, having the house clean so that there's nothing standing in between me and getting my workout in. I'm gonna take you guys along with me. Today is Friday, so we're starting on August 2nd and kind of just getting into the weekend, getting everything prepped so that Monday we can hit the ground running. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a quick 20-minute tidy. I love doing a tidy before I try to start like planning and stuff, just because I feel like it keeps my mind clear where I can kind of focus and actually think about the things that need to get done. I'm not like having all this clutter around me or in my brain. So we're gonna quickly do a 20-minute tidy, get that out of the way, and then we'll jump into some other reset items. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna get started with is kind of planning everything out. I also last month started bullet journaling. This has honestly been a game changer for me as a mom. Like, I really didn't think, like when bullet journaling was like all the craze like a few years ago, I really didn't think this was for me. Like, I'm more of a digital person. I like things very minimal. I've always been like a planner girly, like having like it all laid out for me, telling me what to do, versus me like coming up with things. I'm also not very artsy. That's probably a limiting belief, but I'm not very artsy when it comes to like, you know, drawing and things like that. That's more like my sister's things and not mine. So I'm more of like a spreadsheet girly. So I didn't really think I was gonna enjoy it, but I realized that it actually was like very therapeutic. And I thought I'd show you guys a little bit of like what I planned out. So again, last month was kind of my first month bullet journaling, but I really liked how I was able to kind of like go to this every day versus my phone. And it's been really fun just like using markers and highlighters. And I actually did mine with, and I'll link everything that I'm using in the description box if you're interested in like getting the same things I did, because everything was really affordable. The markers, everything's off Amazon. But I've used erasable pens, which I love because I knew I was going to be like finicky if I like ruined a page or put something in the wrong spot or changed my mind. So erasable pens was where it was at. So I highly recommend that. Again, I'll link below the kind that I use. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go through workouts. So what worked really well for me last month was I actually listed out all my workouts in my planner. And what was nice about that is I love using a fitness app. I actually use an app called Trainerize for my clients, and I love it. The only thing for me is I kind of have been enjoying watching like a motivational YouTube video during my workouts, which a lot of times I'm doing on my AirPods or whatever. So it was a lot going on my phone where I was just like, this just feels like a lot to have like the workout on here and a YouTube video and my headphones in, and just, it was like a lot. So, and then the other thing is I often shoot my workouts for Instagram. So if I am working out, I'm a lot of times showing it on stories or whatever. So I'm using my phone for that. So I was kind of like, okay, I want to have something where I can just have my workout laid out for me. But one of my biggest tips when it comes to resetting for the month is having your workouts planned ahead of time. So whether you're doing an app or whether you're writing them yourself, whatever the case is, I really love writing my own programs and having my own plan for what I'm doing, especially based on where I am in my cycle, how, like, what's been going on in my social life, how my body's been feeling, so on and so forth. So I always lay out my own program. So what I'm gonna be doing this month is I'm gonna be just laying out all of my workouts in my planner, and I'll show you guys the page that I did last month, and I might change it a little bit this month, but right now I'm mainly just gonna be actually writing out what programs I'm doing for the first 2 weeks of the month and then for the last 2 weeks of the month. I like my workouts to be progressively overloading, but at the same time, I want it to be something where I'm not constantly having to think about what exercise was that, what was the name of that exercise, especially if I'm not using an app. So what I did last time was I had it all listed out like this, where I had like basically each day, and so I could just go to like Friday and know exactly what workout I was doing. So this time I'm gonna do it similarly, except I'm gonna have 2 pages, one for the first part of the month and then one for the last part of the month. So I'll kind of show you guys how I laid this out. I have where my Monday program will go, my Thursday program, and my Saturday program. And then at the bottom, I have my Tuesday and Friday programs. So my game plan this month is to do 3 workouts at home and 2 at the gym. We recently just got a gym membership, and it's not one that has like childcare. So Daniel and I are kind of alternating on what days we're going. I wanted to kind of have a plan of what workouts will be at home, lay out exactly what program I'm doing, and then do the same for the gym program, so that again, it's like ready to go. I don't have to think about it, and I'm just ready to do my workout. What I like to do is I like to do basically push-pull movements, and I like to alternate between doing upper body, lower body, and total body, and I try to work core when I'm doing like upper body for the most part. So the way that I have this laid out is basically alternating between upper and lower body and push and pull movements. Again, this is totally subject to change. This is why I always write in erasable pen, so that I can definitely go back in if this program does not lay out the way that I want it to during the week. I can always move things around, but for the most part, I want to do basically 2 upper body days, 2 lower body days, and a total body day. I want to make sure one of my total body days are at the gym. Saturdays is just not a great day for me to go to the gym though, so I'm gonna have that be on Friday. So basically the layout I have is upper body push on Monday, Tuesday is lower body push at the gym, Wednesday is a rest day, Thursday is upper body pull at home, Friday is total body, and then Saturday is a lower body pull at home. So I think that will work out really well for me. I know it's a little weird having like that total body kind of thrown in between the upper pull and the lower pull, but I think that will work best for my schedule. And that's like a big thing to think about when you're planning out your workouts for the month, is like what is going to work best with your schedule? What can you commit to realistically? So for me, this is very realistic, but for you, maybe only 3 days a week is what's realistic and you need more rest days. Totally great. Maybe instead of going to the gym, you're just going to do an active recovery day or a walk or a fitness class. Like that's amazing. That's what I would plan in if you're going to do it, and just trying to stick with that schedule as much as possible, because then it becomes something that's like a non-negotiable. I heard someone say recently, you don't want to let your brain negotiate things. So you want it just to be like, oh, sorry, that has to happen. The same way you would if you had like a job and you were scheduled and you have to show up at the time. That's kind of how this is. It's just a non-negotiable for yourself, but make sure it's something realistic. You don't want to set yourself up for failure by overcommitting. That's why for myself, I know having Wednesday as a rest day is what's best to put on the planner, because last month I tried to make sure I was working out 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, with my rest days on the weekends, and that just didn't work well for me. Having Wednesday, middle of the week, as a rest day was best for me, because I was able to kind of just have that day to recover, especially midweek when we're doing a ton of other things as moms. We're, taking care of kids around the clock. Sometimes we're working, sometimes we're, doing all the other things, cleaning, doing social events. So it's really important to make sure it like fits with your schedule. So for me, having that rest day in the middle of the week is really, really important. So now I'm gonna go in and basically write out my workouts. I'll probably put up on the screen how I kind of do that in Trainerize, and then I'll also write it all down here. My mom also does the same program as me, so I try to have it in the app for her, and then I also have it in here as well, because I mostly use pen and paper, but she likes to have it in the app. So I build it out in both places, but I'll probably put it up on the screen so you guys can see that. Okay, next up, we're gonna get a couple of other big things done to help us reset for the new month and make sure that we are going to crush our goals in the month of August. So first up is go clean your yoga mat. If you have not cleaned your yoga mat recently, it's probably gross. It probably has a lot of germs on it, and it's going to be something that, like, once it's nice and clean, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm excited to work out. My yoga mat's nice and clean. I feel fresh, I feel good. Number 2 is we're gonna organize our equipment. So especially if you're somebody who does all of their workouts at home, I do the majority of my workouts at home, I wanna make sure all my equipment is organized. There's nothing more annoying than going to do a workout, especially if you're doing workouts with resistance bands where you need a door anchor or handles or an ankle strap. There's nothing more annoying than going to do your workout and then getting to that part of that movement and not having what you need set up and having to take the time. A lot of times, you guys know I do my workouts during nap time, so the time is so precious for me to get that workout in. I need to have my equipment organized and ready to go. So I'll link below my favorite resistance band set that is normally on sale. It's like so good. It's cute, it's pink. And so I try to make sure I have a door anchor. I wanna make sure I have an ankle strap, and I wanna make sure I have the carabiner clips, because that's what you're gonna need to like kind of clip and change the different handles. I try to make sure those are together, that I have matching handles, that they're together, that they both have carabiner clips. I wanna make sure all of my bands are together and in a spot that I can reach them. Make sure that I have my booty bands all together and like the varying sizes, so that, again, when I go to do a workout, they're all together. This is really important. So just make sure that you go through your equipment, make sure your dumbbells are where you want them, and just try to set yourself up a space where you're going to work out consistently. And finally, the third thing we're going to do to reset for this month is wash your Stanley, or whatever water bottle you're using. I have a Stanley, I take it everywhere, it goes with me. I'm one of those people, and you probably are too if you're watching this video. So go wash your Stanley and the straw, or get yourself a fresh straw, because they get so gross, they get so dingy and dirty. Just throw it in the dishwasher. I don't know if they're supposed to be dishwasher like safe, but I throw mine in the dishwasher. It cleans up really nice. So go clean your Stanley, go get yourself a fresh straw, or give your straw a good washing as well, and so that you have a nice fresh cup ready to go. So another thing that you should definitely do today is go and get your electrolyte packs, whatever electrolyte you use. Go and put them in like a cute little jar or a container of some sort, and have them out near wherever you fill up your water. So if you fill up your water at the fridge, have it near the fridge. If you fill them up in the sink, have it near the sink. If you have a Brita, go put it by your Brita. Just have it close to where you go to fill up your water, because you're probably not drinking enough electrolytes during the day, if any at all. I know I wasn't. Not only do they help prevent dehydration and fluid loss, they also help regulate your fluid levels in your body and your blood plasma levels in your body. It's also so important for like just bodily function, so helping your muscles recover and grow. All this you need electrolytes for, and you probably aren't drinking any, because I know I wasn't. So you can't normally get them just from your diet, especially as a mom when we're literally running off of fumes as it is. So add some electrolytes to your water. It's very important. I really like the Peak BT Fountain electrolytes. They're really yummy, and they kind of just taste like lemonade, but there's a lot of really good ones. I'll link some below. LMNT I've heard really great things about. I haven't tried them personally, but I've heard great things about them. So a lot of different kinds you can get, but go get yourself some electrolytes so that you can fuel up, make sure your body is hydrated and getting the nutrients it needs. Okay guys, so the next thing we're going to reset is resetting our nutrition. So first thing I like to do is I like to meal prep for the week. Depending on how often you meal prep, I kind of do it on a week by week basis, just because different family events might be coming up. I just kind of know what's happening on a week-to-week basis more than like a month or even like 2 weeks. So I normally buy about a week's worth of groceries at a time, and I have been Instacarting my groceries lately. Normally I just go to Costco, do a big grocery haul. I have a ton of grocery hauls over on my Instagram that you can watch, but lately I've been doing a lot of Instacart orders where I'm just kind of going through and picking out like what things I normally get and meal prepping that way. We go through a lot of fruit and veggies, a lot of like sweet potatoes, asparagus has been a big one this summer, things like that. So I'll normally just kind of go through and do my grocery shopping on there. Always like to meal plan first, and the way that I do that is I'll go through Pinterest. I have a couple different boards on my Pinterest that I like to pin things to, just depending on like kind of what we're eating and what I'm looking for. If I'm going to be prepping a lot of like make ahead snacks, I'll normally like go and grab some of those, so like protein balls or carrots and hummus, things like that. Other times I'm more prepping like breakfast things, where I'll be doing like a frittata or an oatmeal bake, or you know, smoothie packs or whatever, just things like that that I know can be like a quick breakfast if we have a lot going on in the morning and I want my mornings to be easier. But lately it's been mostly dinner, so I've been prepping a lot of dinner, so that's kind of what I was looking for this week when it came to my grocery shopping. But that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to Pinterest, pick out some meals. I like to normally pick, if I'm doing it on a week basis, like 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 3 dinners, and buying the ingredients for those. And that way I can kind of mix and match. We can have leftovers for lunch, we can have leftovers for dinner. You know, I can kind of just swap around, and that's normally enough food for my family. But if you like prepping, you know, maybe getting enough for 2 meals, or if you know your family like goes through a lot of food and you're not going to have leftovers, then maybe prep for the entire week and plan, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for every day, and just buy enough food for that. But basically I like to lay out all of my meals, and then I also lay out all of the ingredients that I need for those, and I try just to like make note of what I already have in the pantry. So if I know I already have like seasonings and, you know, like baking soda and baking powder and like things like that, I can kind of just check those things off. But the things that I know I need to go pick up, like the fruit and veggies and stuff like that, making sure I just have all the ingredients so that it's really seamless when I go to actually make a meal. And this is also a really good way of making sure you're not buying extra stuff and forgetting about it, because I think what a lot of times we do is we'll go to the grocery store, we buy a bunch of food, and then we kind of forget what we were thinking when we bought it. So you might buy a bunch of vegetables and you're like, what was I thinking buying all these like tomatoes? Like, we don't need that many tomatoes, and you forget that you had like a recipe in mind for that. So that's why I try to lay out everything first, and I'll normally actually go through my planner and lay out, or like in my Notion, and lay out exactly like what days we're having what meals. I also have a whiteboard that I kind of like list things out on as well. So that's just kind of helpful, just so that I know like what meals we're planning. But the second thing that you're gonna do is clean out your fridge and clean out your pantry. I think a lot of times we kind of let our pantry and our fridge just get like really stuffed full of just like leftovers and things we say we're gonna eat, but we know we're not going to eat. Just toss it. Clean out your fridge, get it all wiped down and nice and clean. Get your pantry all organized. And I think this just makes it so much easier to go into meal prepping and planning out what meals you're gonna have. Finally, the last thing is actually prepping a lot of your fruits and veggies. So what I like to do is I like to prep things like my bell peppers, my carrots, my potatoes, and just chop them ahead of time. Most of the time, that's how you're gonna be eating them when it comes to a lot of recipes. And honestly, it doesn't matter that much how they're prepared. So unless you're somebody who really likes to cook and likes to have things a certain way, a lot of times a simple chop, or even just slicing, you know, your onion, your bell pepper, and then if you do need it chopped, it's at least one step is already done for you. I love doing that ahead of time, because that just makes it so quick for me to make a quick like egg scramble in the morning with a bunch of veggies, or going and adding, you know, some fresh fruit to a smoothie bowl. It's already prepped, it's already washed, it's already cut. All I have to do is scoop it onto a bowl. It makes it a million times faster. You think that this is like not going to be a game changer for you, but it totally is. So that is the next thing you're gonna do, is prep all of your produce and just make sure it's washed, sliced, skinned, everything ready to go. I like to put it in little organizers, and that just makes it really seamless for me. You also could go ahead and prep a few meals if you know, like next week, for instance, you like to go and have some like overnight oats or smoothie bowls or anything like that. You can go ahead and prep those things ahead of time too, especially if they're things that will keep in the fridge for a little bit. So like an overnight oat bowl, you could definitely keep in the fridge for like a day or two. So you could like prep it on a Sunday, have it in the fridge for like a Monday or Tuesday. And again, just saving you a little bit of time so that you don't have to go and, you know, make breakfast every single morning, and you're starting your morning off with some protein and fueling yourself for the day ahead. So I just feel like that's a really good hack for kind of kickstarting your day. Another thing I love to pick up at the grocery store when it comes to staples is I like to grab things that are going to be high protein. I'll grab things like meat sticks, hummus, just things like that that are gonna have like more protein and fat and keep me more full, so that those are the snacks I'm leaning toward. It's also something that can be paired with the veggies that I'm prepping, because we do a lot of fruits and veggies, and that's what I try to have my diet consist the most of, is like fresh fruits and vegetables, especially for my kids. If you know, you know, toddlers love to snack. So I like to have lots of fruit and vegetables prepped for them so that they can just have that as a snack and a go-to. My youngest has really been into hummus lately, so which is great because it's high in protein. So I try to have that prepped and ready to go so that I can just kind of set that out for them, and I'm not as inclined to hand them another applesauce pouch or some graham crackers or whatever. I have something healthier already prepped. Okay, so finally, for a couple last things just to kind of help you reset for the new month ahead. Number one, I love to lay out some goals for myself. Nothing like really stringent, especially as a mom. I think sometimes those can become kind of defeating, especially if you kind of are restarting your fitness journey for the first time since having kids, or your kids are in a new stage and you're kind of trying to find a new routine. I think a lot of times having the expectation too high can be really defeating. I am going to work out. If I get to work out for 10 minutes, that counts. If I get to work out and do a 5-minute stretching routine, that counts. Whatever it needs to be, just so that you can kind of get that streak going, is where I like to start. Because a lot of times, you know, throughout the day, it can be really overwhelming to say, oh, I have to work out for an hour now when this is the first time the baby has like let me put them down all day. That can be really defeating. But if you have, you know, a goal for yourself of like, okay, even if I'm working out 5 minutes, or even if I'm just gonna go take a walk or whatever, as long as you have something that you know you can realistically do, I feel like that is a great goal to set for yourself. So if it's working out for at least 10 minutes, if it's doing whatever program you have in your app, whatever it is, I think like having just that be like your baseline and your goal, so that you have something that you can kind of check off every day. I also like to write that in my planner or wherever I kind of keep track of things, writing down like just my 3 basic things that I want to try to achieve for myself every day. So one of them is normally a workout, depending on like the length. Number 2 is I try to drink 3 Stanleys of water a day. So again, that's just easy for me to know I've filled up my Stanley 3 times, and I can kind of keep track of it that way, knowing I'm getting enough water during the day. And the 3rd one is normally like reading my Bible. So doing my devotional. Again, I like to have that in the Bible app where I'm actually doing like a plan, and again, get to kind of check something off every single day. All of those, like that streak mentality of having a streak and keeping a streak, actually is so powerful. And like a streak is stronger the more times you do it. So if you can even tell yourself like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this just today, or just tomorrow, or just the next day, and like literally the longer you do any sort of streak, the more power it has over you, which is like a good thing in the sense of kind of creating those healthy habits for yourself. So love having all of that written down, having it in a place that I can kind of keep track. I have been doing a lot of that in my bullet journal, like I showed you guys earlier, and that's just been like a really powerful way of kind of keeping myself accountable and also working toward achieving those goals. Because like, you know that you want to work toward these goals, you know that they are important to you, you know you want to have a healthy lifestyle, but a lot of times we let things like housework, or the fact that like the baby didn't sleep good at night, or you know, even just like that we're not in the best like mental space on a given day, like we let those things kind of get in the way of us and our goals and our healthy lifestyle that we want to create for ourselves. And then the next day we're like, man, I wish I had done it. Like, man, I wish I had drank that water. Man, I wish I had worked out. And so it's like, if you can set yourself up for success of like, okay, I want to check that box, so let me just go work out for 5 minutes. Let me just go stretch for 5 minutes. Pretty soon you'll be actually exercising. Pretty soon you'll be like, oh wow, that felt so good. I did a whole 30 minutes. Now I really want some water. And like, there you go. Now you've moved on to another healthy habit. So I love setting myself up for success in that way of like laying things out in a way that it's going to be front of mind, so that I am prioritizing it, and then I can like check that box for myself, and that makes me more likely to do it the next day as well. Okay, 2 more small things that I love to do to prep for a new month that just make all the difference is, 1, I like to go through my workout clothes and make sure that they're all clean and stain free, and like in a spot where they're all organized that I can just kind of grab and go. It's really annoying, especially as a mom, when you have very limited time to go to like go get a workout in and then not have your stuff clean, or have a stain on it, or have, you know, the shorts that you hate wearing be the only thing that's in your drawer. Like anything like that is just like really annoying. I especially hate when there's like stains on my workout clothes, which again, as a mom, there's always stains on everything. So I like to take the time to like go through and make sure everything's clean and ready to go, so that when I go to work out, I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling like cute in whatever workout outfit I have, and I'm just ready to go, and it's one less thing I have to worry about. The next one is kind of similar. I like to clean my workout shoes. So especially if you're somebody like me who has like white tennis shoes, I try to like wash these and bleach them like probably once a month. And it's like, honestly, I haven't done it all summer, so it like really needs to be done. But basically what I will do is I'll just take some like OxiClean, some really hot water, and just like soak them in OxiClean, and then I'll like give them a really good scrub, and then I'll normally throw them in the washing machine and wash them, and then just let them dry, and then they'll be like a lot whiter and looking nice. So again, I feel just a little bit cuter, a little bit more confident when I'm going to the gym, or if I'm going to go work out at home, whatever it is, my shoes are like clean and look nice and are ready to go. And last but not least, to reset for a new month, I love to take progress photos. If you're somebody who doesn't take progress photos, I highly encourage you to when you're starting your workout journey and every month into it, even if you have a month that you don't feel like you were on track. Because honestly, a lot of times your body is changing and like the little things you were doing are making a difference. And having those photos to just look back on and be like, oh my gosh, like look where I was 2 months ago, look where I was a month ago. It makes such a big difference in your motivation and help you see that what you were doing every single day, showing up for yourself every single day, is actually making a difference. And I actually just looked at my progress photos recently and I was like, oh my gosh, like I actually am starting to see like the fruits of my labor, which is so exciting to see. And especially kind of near the end of summer, already when I was going into the summer not feeling my strongest and my healthiest, it was so encouraging to see like the progress that I've made over the summer. So I really highly encourage you to take those progress photos, even if you think like, I don't really want to look at these right now. If you're not feeling the best about your body, like know that you are beautiful. Your body is so strong and amazing. Your body has done so many amazing things for you, and use it as motivation to make yourself and your health a priority this month. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little healthy reset video with me. I am so excited for a new month and I have a lot of exciting things planned. So I hope you guys will stick around. Make sure you like and subscribe if you liked this video, and comment down below which of the tips was your favorite. For me, I definitely am glad I cleaned my Stanley. I feel like my Stanley gets so gross that I'm so glad I prioritized that. I feel great about drinking my water and getting in those benefits. So comment down below what your favorite tip was. I hope to see you guys in the next one, and thanks so much for watching.